Hello everybody, this is Sonia. Now I've come on here today because I wanted to show you how to do some embroidery stitches. I'm going to be doing some crazy patchwork along the way, so I wanted to show you how to do the embroidery stitches. Now I may have these on other videos, but I'm just going to have this one about embroidery stitches, and that way people are going to know that that's what we're doing on this video anyway. Now nice piece of fabric. I'm going to use a even weave fabric, which is like a what do you call it, linen, and that means that your threads are going one way, one the other. In other words, they're just sort of up and down like this. See, so you sort of got them one way then the other way. Okay, so that's what's an even weave one. Okay, so the others, you don't have to. It's easier to work with. You can use any sort. The other sort of fabric that you get have got different weave patterns in them. This one here is completely different. You could use this though. It's a bit thick. When I say this, is this what I'm leaning on? It's like a damask sort of thing, I think. That one, damask, and it's sort of, I don't know. But anyway, we won't worry about that. Just have something that's reasonably heavy too, like a calico is not a good idea. If you're using satin or silk or something like that, I suggest you put a piece of something underneath it. When I say that, it comes back with this bag of stuff again. I suggest that you put that underneath it. It'll stabilise it a little bit for you. When people learn to do embroidery, a lot of them do it in a hoop. I have hoops. I particularly don't mind doing it, but as I've got a little bit older, my hands seem to not want to be doing that. I don't know how I can explain that, but they're just not, The hoop I'd use would only be about this big, because I can't get a bigger one. It just doesn't, and that's all I've got, sort of big ones, and I don't really want to use a hoop. All you got to do is just not to pull your work too tight. Just have it so it's even as you go along. It's you practice. It's all it needs is a bit of practice. But anyway, now I've got enough cotton here. I don't really probably need this much, so I probably will cut the bit of that off. I don't know why I did that, but anyway. So this is what I'm using. I'm using some crochet thread, which is like a pearl thread that you can actually buy hanks of this as well, because this ends up a little bit expensive. Unless you already have that, you can use that. The hanks of pearl thread are probably only a couple of dollars, and you get a fair bit in that. I don't know whether they have the smaller weights in it though. They have it the thicker ones. These will probably be this size thread for that, but that's okay, because what I'm going to be showing you is going to take all different sorts of threads anyway. This is only for me to learn you how. Now embroidery thread, okay, so there's heaps of that out there in the world, so I've got a container here with a bit of everything in it. This is the embroidery thread. Now this can either be anchor or I don't know what this one is. Let me see. Okay, well, it's not going to tell me. Oh, what's the name? DMC. It's either anchor or DMC. Okay, so that's either one or the other, which is a good thread. You can buy cheaper versions. That's up to you whether you want to do that or not. I don't think the colour's very good in them, but it's up to yourself. Now, and you can use either the whole amount, which I don't usually as a rule, or you can just take off a couple, because you have there's 6 there, and you can just take a couple of threads, right? Now, once people used to get it and just to stress out so bad pulling it apart, but you know what, all you got to do is just go like that, and it will come down for you. Nice. Now it's telling, it's making out believe that I didn't know what I was doing now, isn't it? But I have done it millions of times, I'd say, if that was possible. Let's try this again, okay? We're not gonna let it beat us, are we? Just get one and pull it down, okay? Actually, you can do them one at a time, because that's probably where I made my mistake. If you pull them down one at a time, they'll still go back together. If you want to use 2, you can just put 2 together then. and just use the 2, because that was really what I personally, and I think it might be a lot of other people might use in different things. It depends if you're doing something that actually has a pattern to it and that tells you how many of those you need. Okay, so in the first instance, that was, I made a mistake with that. But this is really nice and delicate, and it's very good, to use that if you're just going to do something tiny and dainty. Okay, so the first stitch today that we're going to do, and I'm not going to knot it anymore, I'm going to be a good girl now and I'm doing it properly, is going to be a chain stitch. So you just want to come up through the back until that's not quite caught, and then you want to do a tiny little stitch where you go back down in there and just make that like so. Okay, so now it's not gonna come undone. All right, well, if you yank it will, but once you start your embroidery, it shouldn't. Okay, so I don't know how easy this is going to be for you to do it upside down, but let's have a go, see if anybody can try it upside down. So you want to just put your thread over there and come up there and go down in through there. Now, if this is too hard and somebody needs me to actually try and move the camera and do it, I can. Okay, so you've got this piece now over the top. You're going to get back down into there, next to where you got that part, next to there, and you're going to come down here again, and you're going to pull that up there like so. Don't pull it very hard. Hold your work carefully. Just do it slowly, and it will work out very nicely for you. And this is what is called a chain stitch, because when you finish making it, it looks like a little chain. Now, if you really wanted to, you could go and you could use this in your steampunk things. If you're going to do a bit of fabric in them, you could use this in anything, really. Make a little fence on a picture or something, put it on as a decoration. You can sew a bead down in between each one of those. Now, as you can see, Sonia's getting smaller as she goes down, which is probably not a good idea. I could tell you that I'm actually aiming for that, but I wasn't aiming for it to actually disappear by the time we got to the bottom of it. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Just go back into there. I don't know what's happening here. Some people go close. I believe that going back in, if you go close, you tend to sometimes start to leave a gap, and that's not good. So go back where you came, next to where you came out there, and just go in and pull it down like so. Okay, now it's going a bit sideways. That doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about that too much. Try and keep it as straight as you possibly can. And you know what? If it's not as good as what you wanted it to be, I'd take that out myself, because I wouldn't be happy with that. I'd just take it out and work out which one comes out without pulling the whole lot undone. That'll be here, which I'm really pulling the whole lot undone. Anyway, you want it to be done properly, and that's what I feel, I need to do. I need to do it right. Okay, so now I'm going to thread my needle, because I've got it finally through to the back. I know my husband's out there making moves as far as moving things into that spare room. Now he's finished painting that, and I'm going to be coming up at the inside of there, because that's where that would have actually been. That thread would have come into the bottom of that loop there. So we're going to go back into there, and continue on here. The reason I cannot see what I'm doing, because I'm holding it there to try to show you, and I don't know if I'm actually showing you how it's going. Let's have another go. Actually, I really have this up too high. I can't see what I'm doing. Never mind. I'm as long as I'm doing the right sort of way. Try not to pull it too tight. If you pull it too tight, you'll end up with. I'm not going to do that. Otherwise, I'll wreck it. Okay. Of course, as my sampler, I will probably be using this on something else. Okay. So I did go sideways, but that was only because I can't see what I'm doing. Well, I'm saying that anyway. Okay, so there you go. So that's your chain stitch, and you just end it off at the back with a couple of stitches there. You just pick it up and end it off, and that's so it should not go anywhere. Keep it tidy, and you can cut that bit off there as well, because after you've put in those other stitches, that shouldn't go anywhere either. So that's nice and tidy. Okay, so that's chain stitch. Now we're going to do a satin stitch. Now, satin stitch can either be for filling something in, or it can be sort of like for a stem as well. You can use it for a stem. I have, no, hang on. Well, I guess it sort of just depends. I'll show you how to, this is a satin stitch that will show you how to do a flower or something, okay? So you will just make yourself a little shape. This will be actually a leaf shape, okay? There's a leaf shape. Now, to do satin stitch, all you need to do is to start at your side bit here. I've made a knot in that. So used to it. I'm just so used to being naughty, you know. If I was doing something like years ago for a competition, I'm doing it again. I just cut it off and I would not do a knot, okay? If you're doing it for anything, that you don't put a knot in it. So you come up through there, pull it right through to up to about there, and then you want to just go down in there and get hold of that. Do a tiny little thing, stitch, okay? Now the satin stitch is going to be one that goes from that line to that line, okay? You're going to fill this in by going from there down under here and come back straight up next to it, alright? Now try to keep yourself in. If you don't want, if you haven't put it on there with something that's going to come off, like a piece, if you can use a disappearing ink, because you can buy pens and they have it like that, you use on fabric and the ink disappears after a while. I've often put things on what's named over the years and not even gone back to finish it and the ink's disappeared off me, so I've got no pattern at all left because it goes away. But if you go right over your little drawing or whatever, but you can use anything to draw around. You could even put a stamp on here of something, and then you can fill it in. You know, if you want to stamp it, put a stamp on, and that's another. That'd be another story, wouldn't it? You put to do that. You could probably, that'd work, wouldn't it? You could put a stamp on there and then sew it after it was dry. You'd sew your little stamp. Wouldn't be nothing wrong with doing that. But this is for demonstration purposes. We are making either a petal or a leaf, but it is blue, but that doesn't matter, does it? So we just go over and back like that and just try to keep it all even as you're going along, because that'll be very, very helpful if you do. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I think it is. I know I'm probably showing this to people who don't sew. I'm sure those that do might be looking at it as well, but for those of you that don't, you know what? It's worth a try, because actually it is actually good fun. You know, for people who do paper crafting and scrapbooking and stuff like that, this is really good, you know. It's very, you can do anything with a needle and thread. Anything at all. Make anything. Of well, you know, you can make lots of different things. Fibres are really good things to use. So there we go. Now, and I might be a little bit disappointed with the fact that that's gone out a little bit too far on the edge, but then it's not that bad, is it? Really, it doesn't look too bad for, you know, for me trying to do it, holding it up in the air here. Okay, so I'm going to cut that other tail there off with these old gawky looking scissors, because I think my other ones are not with me. I do this all the time. Take things out there and don't bring them back. Okay, I do bring them back, but not when I'm needing them. So that's that bit. So that's called satin stitch. Now we're going to do a herringbone stitch, which is really fun, I think. I'm going to do this in a yellow, and I'm going to actually probably have to do it a good size for you so you can see how it works. I'm hoping this is in the shot, because I'll be very upset if it's not, and I'm hoping that the time's not going too quickly for us. I should have, because I don't want it. If any of my videos ever stop, you know it's because Sonya ran out of battery, or she used it for too long and didn't know what was going on if I run out of room. If I put too many videos up on it, new cameras, different things. I put a knot in that. Everybody watch me. Was anybody yelling, don't do that, don't do that? Okay, right, sorry. Righto, so you come up through the back again, and you want to make a tiny little stitch on the top. Will be nice. Just put a little tiny stitch there. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to go there. Now you can see, I have actually got a really thick, heavy piece of thread, and maybe my needle is not quite thick enough to take through both thicknesses of that thread. Okay, so we're just going to keep going with it and see how we go. As long as I don't stab myself with the thing again, I'll be fine. Okay, so what you need to do is you come across here like this to where, if you can follow between two lines, it's really a good idea. I mean, like I need just to get some of that disappearing ink if you want to. So you can put this over a piece of, you know what I'll do? I'll put it over a piece of ribbon. That'll help a lot easier. That'll show you a lot easier how to do it. Wait a minute. So I'll get a piece of ribbon. Got a drawers full of that, but we won't be long. Got to get this chair fixed. Hubby's getting me the E6000, but he's a bit busy at the moment. I'm not gonna annoy him today while he's doing stuff. He's got things on. He's got lots on, so he won't be. Come here, you. He's not going to be doing things. I'm not going to interrupt him while he's busy. He'll get it done for us, and that'll be good. Oh, gracious me! Now I found something I've lost earlier. Wasn't that good that I found something I lost earlier? I'm really pleased about that. Now back under here. I get stuck sometimes that chair, but anyway, let's get a piece of ribbon. Okay, in that small bit. We'll see when I'm doing the you know, crazy patchwork. This is going to be just the thing, right? So I can either set that there, but I won't cut it again because I'm going to put a pin in it today. I should stitch it on, shouldn't I? I wonder how much time I've got left. 16. We'll probably have to stitch that on there, Sonia. Do it properly, that's the way. And then when it comes to using it, you won't have to throw it in the bin. You'll be able to use it. Piece of cotton here with thread. And we're going to sew that down. We won't glue it, because if you glue it, it's not going to be nice. It's going to get all stuck to your work. You don't want to glue things like these sort of things. It's for paper, I think. And you can glue material. Oh dear. Please don't. Nobody go crook on me for saying that, but I guess lots of things are glued. I need something to stop this sliding away, don't I? Now I'll just move that over there for a minute, because I'm going to really, really quickly try and just put a straight stitch into this. A piece of thread here, and I'm going to put, and I'm hoping that you won't be able to see it very clearly, okay, because I did, but you can, because it's all in the sewing process, isn't it, really? Because stitches in crazy patchwork are there. There is stitches in crazy patchwork. Isn't there? A lot of stitching. So we just do a tiny stitch on the bottom. You can come a bit longer on the back of it. Just a tiny stitch there, look through. And so you just want to do that across here. Put your ribbon down. The reason I'm doing this is because if you were using the pens, which I don't know why I haven't got one here, I think I put them away because I don't use them a lot, but it actually marks your work, and then you can, it'll disappear like I said. Or some of them, they wash off in water, but I'd get the one that just disappears itself. You can make yourself 2 lines if you just want to do the embroidery. If you don't want to put the ribbon underneath it, or whatever you want to, you can just do over the top of, you know, like it'll look really good anyway, whatever you use. So we're going to go down here along this. And I hope this doesn't stop, because I won't be very pleased again. I've just got to get used to this new camera thing, and I can't take them off if I don't load them. I have got a few on here today, so we'll just keep on going anyway, see what happens. Now, so you want to come up at the top, and then you're going to work out, say, you know, you want it to come to the side a little bit, and you need to go back in there and that far over, okay, and then you're going to go up here to the top, and you're going to do the same thing. Pick up a stitch there, and not your hand, just a stitch, not your fingers, sewed myself to a few things over the years? Definitely I have. Do not even know a couple of times I've sewed my own thumb or something to the material, because you just pick up the top. Anyway, that's a bit creepy, isn't it? So this is how you do the chevron stitch. Now, it's up to yourself how big or whatever that you want it to be. Now, this is going through here really bad because my thread that I've got is way too thick. Okay? And I'm going to show you now, the further you come over here, like that, the bigger your cross will be there, or you can take it smaller up the top. Alright, I'm going to take that out because I don't want it to do that to me. It's up to you how far you bring that piece back in there. But if you just want to sit down and just rewind me sometimes, like if you want to do this. Now this stitch has got a lot of things you can work with it, you know, in Crazy Patchwork. You can put beads between the things, you can put little coloured spots of cotton in between it. I can show you a few different pieces when we come to doing the Crazy Patchwork. Now if you keep those there at the same distance, try your very best to keep it at the same distance. Go up here and across. Really good fun. I really enjoy doing this sort of thing, as I've told and said many times. Okay, so this is the chevron stitch. Okay, I went to tape. If I knew how to do embroidery, okay, I did know when I was young, and I did a lot of embroidery. I went to TAFE and I learned hundreds of stitches. There's hundreds of stitches in all sorts of categories. You would not have believed the amount of stitches that there is out there, but it's so good because you can do such wonderful things with it, you know. I did basic chain stitch, stem stitch and things like that. I might do stem stitch and a few more on the next video, because I'll put up another one, and we might call it Crazy Stitches whatever day I'll put it up, I guess. So there you go, that's how you do that, and I think that's really totally awesome. That'll look good across with Twinchy too, wouldn't it? Okay, so you got to think about these things where you'd put that. You can put that on anything. I mean, there's it's just all of them. Okay, one more, and we should be able to fit it in. I hope we can fit this one in. Let me see, I want to go back to a thinner thread because that's just too thick, but it was fun doing it, wasn't it? Okay, now I'm going to do a lazy daisy, which have probably got too much cotton here again, and all the bits I cut off will go onto my scrim, which I'm going to show you that one day too. You got to think about this now. I'm not young, and I've been doing this all these sorts of things for years, so I have a very large repertoire of everything that I can do. And I've done a knot again, isn't that good? Okay, so now I'm going to do Lazy Daisy. Now this is really easy. This is just like your come up through there, do a tiny little thing. Now if you want to, again, you can do your own lines. Okay, when I say lines, when you do a Lazy Daisy stitch, you want to make a flower, obviously. So you're going to have, this would be my person's hair. I do this thing where I go a leg and a leg and an arm. So you've got five bits, right? You've got 5 little sticks things. Like it's like a person-ish star jumps. Okay, that's my silly old theory on it. You go back down in where you started, right? And you come up here. This is just like doing a what's the name? Yeah. But you're going to stop there, and then you're going to go over here, and I've got these two. I'll come back to this one. I've got these two big, but we're not going to worry about that because you'll be able to see them if they are. You come up this side, okay, and you just go around here, back down in there, and back to your centre, okay. Now if you want a centre thing like a bead or something, put that there first, and then just bring each one of these into it. Okay, so you come out to this side, go over across there, and bring it down, Put that back into there and go down into the middle. Alright, now maybe some of these I might have misjudged when I did my little line, so I'm going to do, this is going to be a little bit over from it, but I'm sorry about that. That's why we need the disappearing thing, so it's going to disappear. It won't, maybe it will if I give it a bit of a scrub with a eraser. That might get it off because I used to use pencil. Okay, so this is how you do the now I know I've done these a little bit big and gawky looking, but we can make them smaller to go for 20, and I'm hoping I'm showing you how to do this, because I'll be very disappointed and I get used to it too if I didn't. Now the first one I made him way too big, didn't I? I was carried away there. I'd pull that undone and redo it myself, but you know, I mean, I don't have time to do all that, but I'd do that, you know. And but so you can make them like this, make a tiny little one, you know, like a dear little dainty little flower. Okay, and just go and make him tiny. You could even make him smaller than that too if you wanted to. Make a tiny little flower. It looks so much better because the fact that that's open too in the centre, it's up to yourself, you know, whether you want to make them big or small. You know, you can make them as huge or as little as you want them to be. Okay, I'm running out of thread here, so I'm going to be really testing it, aren't I? Only 2 more to go. I think I'll fit them in. Okay. Geez, I'm hoping hubby's not going to want me to do anything this afternoon. I've just absolutely had enough of that. I've got all the things I want to do this afternoon. I think I'll be able to fix it up tomorrow though. Well, I got, so the little one turning out a lot better. He's not too gawky looking, is he? Now if your thread just comes undone, just fill, you know, and if you haven't got enough thread, take the needle out, go down in through there, put it up where it's supposed to be. Now this one I'm showing myself, not you, I'm sorry about that. When you get it where it's supposed to go, put your thread back on. You don't want to waste any cotton, you know, and just pull that through, like so. Haven't got enough to push it down, just unthread your needle, but it didn't come out, look at that, aren't I lucky. Put it back in, and there you have a nice little flower. Okay, so there's your little daisy, and you know, make them in any colours I suppose you want. There's white ones, there's pink ones, and there's yellow ones, I think. Might be lots of more. Anyway, so that's it. That's my first episode for you on embroidery threads, stitches. Okay, how to make your embroidery. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you later. Bye bye.